Champions, and welcome back to another edition of Brootal Block Reacts. I am your host, DJ JC, and today we are reacting to another awesome band. This band was on Brootal Block's full episodes, episode 103. So if you want to check out that song in the episode, then head on over to Brootal Block on Rumble and check out episode 103. We have a bunch of amazing bands, but this band was on that list as well. And the band we are speaking of today is NovaGhost, and we are going to be reacting to their track, Devil's Den.
The attitude, the doctrine of the UK was to plan for the consequences of a disaster. Can we buy enough body bags? Where are we going to bury the dead?
Beautiful shots.
And that was completely wrong. Of course it's important to have that in case you fail to stop a pandemic. But central to pandemic planning needs to be, how do you stop the disaster from happening in the first place? How do you suppress the violence?
This is one thing I love about metal as a whole, as a genre, is that there are bands out there that are really, really, really brutal, and that's what they want to do. And then there's other bands that they take tones and sounds and just create this atmosphere. I love when metal bands play softer stuff and when they build tension that way. It's beautiful. And then of course this started out beautiful and haunting, and then you had this little fast riff kind of underneath it. Really good way to start. So yeah, I guess this would be considered kind of genty. It's very chuggy. I love the tones that are going on here. The drums sound so crisp. This band in this opening gives me almost like Intronaut vibes. I know I've mentioned Intronaut before, but they're one of those bands that I feel like when you get into a lot of the chuggy type stuff, really fit the odd time signature type stuff, that genty vibe. It's very reminiscent of Intronaut, and again, it's one of my favorite bands. So I'm really digging in the opening here. I also just want to mention that their riffs are as elegant as the guitars they're playing on. I really like that wood look of that guitar. It's a beautiful guitar, and that bass is clean as shit looking.
We shall not choke on mirrors and smoke while we discussing the man in the cloaks. The hatred is rising from pillar to post. Why aren't they helping those who need it the most?
That riff has so much going on. There's bending, there's finger tapping, there's chugging. There's a lot going on in that riff. I really dig that. I love that too. The singing, the harmonized singing really opens up. The riff didn't change, but the mood changed because you have the vocals layered. They're harmonizing. It just makes it sound big and open. I really, really appreciate that.
Ignite the fire that burns aside. Forget the media divide. Remove the pain for those that died. Expose the lies of trying to hide. Break, bleed. Start a revolution for all those who need. Broken, but not alone. We cannot look back until we've destroyed the...
Bro, this is one of those bands too. I've really grown fond of this band. I've heard this song before. What I love about this band too is there's just some bands where the vocalists and the music just complement each other so well. This is one of those bands. Vocally, the way that he screams, the way that he sings fits the tone of the music. It fits perfectly with the tone of the guitars. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. I don't know if I'm making sense on that, but there's just certain bands out there when you hear the music and then you hear the vocals that are put with it, they just complement each other so well, and it elevates that track to a new height. Sounded like you were adding some dissonance there too, just to really there's a lot of emotional roller coasting that's going on with this track. It's like I said, it started out very haunting, and then now you're adding that tension, but then you also have that you'll reap what you sow vocal line in there as well, which adds more beauty to the haunting and to the tension building. This song is very well written. That's a bleh moment, and thank you for not actually doing the bleh, because it's gotten to a point where I think that's overused. But that's a bleh moment. Okay, so during this part, I want you to pay attention to this. This is one of those things that when I listen to certain bands, I can tell that a band knows what they're doing sonically and musically when it comes to recording. Again, also just having a great producer. But this is one of those situations where when I was growing up, a lot of bands would always crank their gain or crank their overdrive because they thought the more gain or more overdrive they had, the heavier they would be. This is what it sounds like when you have guitar players that know how to control their tone and allow the bass and drums to carry that heaviness. All this heavy is coming from that bass and from that drum, that kick, and you're able to hear the guitars better because they're dialed into a way that you can actually hear the notes they're hitting. But then when we get to these really heavy, chunky parts, the bass and the drums are allowed to kind of come in and pull that weight for that really heavy section. And again, like I said, they're dialed into where when they're playing more intricate stuff on the guitars, that cuts through the mix and you're able to hear those notes on their own. See that the bass was very, very chunky in that pattern, and then on the underline of that in the mix, you could hear the guitars doing this like droning underneath all that chunkiness, which really just adds that element of tension. Beautifully done. See, they were showing the guitar that was doing the chunky stuff with the bass, but that other guitar is doing other things that's just adding elements. Again, I don't know if both guitars, when they recorded it, if both guitars are playing that chunky part and then they just added those elements in just to add to the album itself, or if they actually do it live. But there's some tension building going on. If you listen very closely, there's another guitar doing like stuff higher up on the neck that's, and again, I don't understand theory and all that shit, so I can't get real technical with it, but I can hear it and I can pinpoint it. And again, it's just adding that color and that texture that just makes this feel uneasy in the most beautiful way possible. I'm loving it. I also want to point out that that's one of my favorite part of the song. Vocally, it's so you have a beautiful voice, dude. If you guys are watching this, your vocalist has a very beautiful voice, and I like that you tease us with it throughout the song. He could have went and did a whole big chorus and really just belted out stuff and with clean vocals, but instead, again, it's a texture thing. It's an add-on. It's something that's just it's very minimal in the track, but it's so powerful that it's something that when we revisit it, it's nice to hear. It's not overdone. It's done just enough to make your ears perk and be like, yeah, like I like that part. And so far, I think it's only happened twice throughout the track, but it's something that's beautiful and comes in and then it's out. And I like that type of stuff. It's like how I feel with like a lot of musicians that when they write songs, a lot of the heavier bands will do it with basses too. Like the bass guitar, they're playing their stuff and then they'll have a little quick section, like a millisecond to 2 second, like a bam, 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 and then they never go back to it. I love when bands do that shit. It perks the ears and it makes me go back and listen to the song again just to wait for that moment to hit again. And I feel like that's what you kind of did here vocally, and it's beautiful. That bass tone with those drums, and it sounds like in this section the bass may have been added, some distortion may have been added during this. I don't know if it's been through the whole song, I wasn't paying attention, but here it makes sense because you're highlighting that bass part with the drums. But again, this is a band that knows their tones, and because of it, it really makes this song pop. And whoever mixed this did a phenomenal job. Well, there you have it, folks. That was NovaGhost with their track Devil's Den. It's a track that when I was putting the list together for that particular episode, it's a song that stuck out to me. It's a band that just, I love this band. I love what they're doing. It's a group of musicians that truly know what they're doing. You have guitar players that understand tone and dialed in a perfect sound for what they're playing. A bass player that is just knows how to play and carry that just vibe, and you have a drummer that doesn't overdo it but knows where to put that little extra spice and not overdo it, but still showcase that he is a badass drummer. The drummer you guys have, the guitar players you have, the bass player you have, everybody knows what they're doing. And then of course the vocalist, you have a rare gem in this band with a vocalist that not only fits the tone and vibe of the music vocally when it comes to screaming, but he has a beautiful singing voice and he doesn't overdo it. He sprinkles that in just to tug at your ears a little bit and say, hey, I can do that too. I love this band. I love this track. I hope you guys are excited as I was to listen to it. And I'm definitely got my radar on NovaGhost. NovaGhost, if you're watching this, please keep in touch with Brootal Block. I'd love to get you guys back on the show. Let me know what you guys are doing. If you have anything promo-wise that you want to send to us, I'd love to push anything that you guys are doing on the show. Reach out to me. And any band that's watching this, if you want to reach out and want to be on the show, you want to be on my reaction channel, you want to be on the full-length episodes, whatever it may be, reach out to me at brutalblock@gmail.com and let me know that you want to be on the show. Just say, hey, what's up, man? This is our new single. This is our new album that's coming out, whatever have you, and send that stuff. If you have promotional stuff too, say you're promoting a new album, a song, a tour, merchandise, whatever it may be, you can also send that to me. It's got to be about a 30 to 90 second promo clip, and I'll make sure to get that on the show as well. I hope you guys are enjoying this. A little update. I have updated people. If you are not following us on Facebook, then head over to Facebook and type in a Brootal Block hosted by DJ JC and give us a follow. That's where I keep everybody up to date with what's going on, as we do have this YouTube channel. We do have the full episodes on Rumble. We do now have an Instagram. We have a Twitter, but I try to keep everybody updated on the Facebook page. And for those that don't know, I do now have a full-time job, so I'm going to be going back doing full-time work just to try to survive this economy. So I'm going to put a lot of focus still on Brootal Block, though. Brootal Block hopefully is not going anywhere, but all my other side projects probably are going to be put in the back burner for now until I get everything situated. Family comes first, and I got to make sure my family's taken care of. But I am not going to stop doing Brootal Block. We have been having an amazing turnout. We've been gaining a ton of momentum here in the past couple of months, and I want to keep that going. So hopefully that doesn't affect it. But if you don't see me on the React channel for a little while, don't worry. I'm okay. Like I said, I just have a full-time job that I am doing. But before I start, I'm still waiting for my background check to go through, which I have a clean record, so I'm not worried about that. But while I have that extra time, I am trying to load some of these up. So all I have to do is worry about editing on my day off and then put them out. The great thing is that I'm only working 4 days a week, 10-hour shifts. So I have 3 days throughout the week to be able to do this type of stuff. The first couple of weeks that I'm going to be doing this, I am going to have to, like I said, grind and focus on my family. But hopefully towards the end of the summer, I'll get my schedule a little better and kind of get my bearings back, and you'll be seeing more of me. So bear with me. Again, I am a one-man operation. I do all the editing. The background music that you hear, like right now, probably there's background music playing. If you hear background music playing, that's me. I wrote it, I recorded it, I played it, I mixed it, I mastered it, I did all that stuff. Same thing with this. I edit all the videos, edit all the content that I create. It's a one-man operation, so bear with me. I'll try to get stuff out as much as possible to stay up to date with these videos. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and hopefully you enjoy the bands that we are looking at and enjoy my opinion on these bands. Again, we try to keep everything positive here at Brootal Block. We're not sub-genre specific, and we don't gatekeep. As long as you're playing heavy music, then I am interested in checking it out. We love you guys. Again, Minions, without you guys, we wouldn't be possible. Without the bands, we wouldn't be possible. Without Matthew Thomas and Super Cool Radio, we wouldn't be possible. Those are the three legs of the tripod that help us stand strong and remain to help us stay a bigger brand of metal in the community. We're growing and we're not stopping, and I really do appreciate everything that we get, attention-wise and love and support. With that being said, if you'd like to show some support to the show financially, we do have options for that. As doing this type of stuff, I do free 100% for the bands. I'll never charge a band to be on our show, to be on the reaction channel, to promote any of their stuff. We do that 100% free for bands. I understand bands have enough shit that they have to pay for. I don't want to be one of those entities that is draining more money out of bands. So with that being said, if you are a fan of the show and you want to help support the show to keep the show running, and again, all the money that I make from this show goes right back into the show, then you can do that. I'll have links down to our Patreon page. We have 2 tiers that you can get on that, and I might expand that as time goes on, but right now I just have 2 basic tiers that you can get on if you want. And then also we have merchandise. We have about 4 t-shirts in the shop right now that you can choose from. So if you like to rep Brootal Block and show the world that you're a minion, then head on over to our Threadless account. Again, I'll have a link down in the description, and pick up some merch. Again, all the proceeds to that will go right back into the show. It's one of the reasons why I'm kind of glad I'm going back full time, is I want to do giveaways. I want to give back to not only the bands, but to the minions. So I plan on doing that once I catch up on all the stuff that I need to catch up on in my personal life. But I want to do giveaways, and I want those to start growing and getting bigger. And the fastest way we can do that is if you guys help support the show. I can take that money, put it back, and give it back to the community. So yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out new episodes of Brootal Block every Tuesday over on Rumble. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying what we have. We have a lot of cool bands coming up. I have about 2 months worth of bands saved up. So if you have reached out to me and you haven't seen your band on the show yet, just understand that there is a queue system, and just be patient with me. We'll get you on the show as soon as possible. I haven't forgotten about you. I have a list not only in my phone, but I tend to write them down in this book too. I have a book, you can't really see on my camera, but I have a book that I write down bands as well. So there is a queue system. There is a method to this madness, if you will. So I haven't forgotten about you guys. I'll get you on here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I have more coming soon. So like I said, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we will see you on the next Brootal Block. Take care.